And we are on. Hello and welcome to Sports Unhinged. I'm Mohammed and I am joined by Mark, Ujitha, and Coach. But today we've got a special guest all the way from Wisconsin, Darla. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now, we brought you on board here to battle it out with our Chicago Bears residents here, Mark. But before I let you guys do that, I just want to ask you one question. You're Mark's friend. So how does it feel to have a friend that you can ridicule and make fun of at least twice a year, every year? I'm jealous.
Why do you think I let him be my friend?
All right, perfect. I need to find me an Atlanta Falcons fan.
Yeah. Well, I think Ujitha feels the same about you, Mohammed.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit later. Let's not kick off the show with
a lot of stuff went down last week. Yeah, we'll keep it to it. That needs a whole show on its own. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome, Darla. Good to see you. And
thank you.
You've been a Green Bay fan for a long time, I understand.
About 35 years. Yep.
Damn. Are you a season ticket holder yet?
Oh my goodness. No. But I did get my Packer season ticket wait list postcard in the mail just this past week. And we jumped 1,000 places in line.
Wow.
That sounds like a lot, right? But our number is 32,126. And last year was 33,000. So we figure at this rate, we'll have season tickets in 30 years.
Fantastic.
Something to look forward to.
That's equivalent to the whole Jacksonville Jaguars fan base. I mean, that's...
Oh my gosh. Fun fact is you can't put in your will like your waiting spot number, but you can put in your will your season tickets if you have them.
Oh, wow.
So, yep. And people do that all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I understand you've got an interesting piece of memorabilia.
I do. I was telling Mark the other day that I really wanted to wear my Jordy Nelson jersey today, but it's in a shadow box hanging up on my wall because I actually got it signed.
Nice.
Yeah. So if it's okay, the story behind it is pretty cool. So for 16 years, I was a classroom teacher and I taught third grade. And my favorite kids ever are the ones that, just need that little extra love. And this particular little fella, he was very mischievous and liked to push my buttons a lot. But he told me one day he was going to be gone in the afternoon because Jordy Nelson was going to be at his mom's work signing autographs. So I ran home and got my jersey and asked him if he would get it signed for me. And he did.
That's
cool.
amazing.
Nice.
So
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome.
It deserves a place in a box. Honestly, it does.
Yep. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to this weekend because, the last 20 years, really, it's been a bit of a one-way street for the Packers. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It always makes me nervous though when they go to Soldier Field. It's always tough. So
I don't know about that.
Green Bay have dominated the NFC North on the road for the last 2 years. In fact, I think they're 6-0 since Week 15 of 2018 at Chicago. So it's been quite a while.
And it was probably a nothing game. They had nothing to gain from it. They're already in the postseason by then. Yeah. So that's the problem. I went to see the first game of the 2019 season at Soldier Field. The 100th anniversary game.
Right.
Okay.
I was there and it was 10-3 to the Packers, the most turgid performance by the Bears offense ever. I think it's going to be different this weekend. So have you got a score prediction?
I really don't. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
What is yours?
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
She just reeled you in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 24-17 Bears.
Really?
Yeah.
Holding Aaron Rodgers to 17 points. Come on now.
Bears have a great defense.
The Bears' good defense. They give you that.
They do have a good defense, but I really think the Packers are going to score more than that.
Do you?
Yeah, Rodgers and Adams are pretty hot right now.
Okay, you'll get 18 then. 24-18. I'll give you that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Mark, I'll be surprised if the Bears win, to be honest.
Of course you would be. You'd be shocked.
Yeah.
You've had 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterback, and you got a whole one Super Bowl to show for it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One Super Bowl, 30 years.
What would happen if Fields goes 1-0 against Green Bay? He'd be bigger than the 2016 Cubs, wouldn't he?
A parade in the streets.
Yeah. I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be close. I hope it'll be close.
I hope it'll be close too. That always makes it more
just want to see a good contest for once, and just
So the passing offense has been a struggle for Chicago, but Green Bay this week is without one of their best cornerbacks in Jair Alexander, who's been placed on IR. So there might be some opportunity for Justin Fields to finally get the passing game going. But at the end of the day, you've got Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Can you outscore Aaron Rodgers? It's tough. Now, Darla, I've got the Green Bay Packers as my NFC champion pick from the beginning of the season. So I've got them going up against Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Is that the expectation for Green Bay fans? Is it Super Bowl or bust, knowing that Aaron Rodgers might be in his last year at Green Bay?
It's always a Green Bay expectation that the Packers go to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Oh, so you guys must have been dealing with a lot of disappointments in the last few years.
Join us on this side.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
We definitely, obviously, want to go to the Super Bowl, but I was, to be honest with you, surprised that Aaron is back after all the.
What did you think during the off season with all the drama was going on?
I was really hoping that he wasn't going to pull a Brett Favre, but
send an inappropriate picture.
Well, no, just that I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire, and I don't know. I thought he was being a bit childish, to be honest with you, with the whole I'm not coming to practice if I don't get my way. But life of a quarterback, right? It'll be interesting to see if this is his last year or not.
Do you think
it will be a love-hate relationship with the fan base over the last few years with all that drama that's going on? Are they running out of patience with Aaron Rodgers? Would you like to see a fresh start, or is he so good that you're willing to put up with all of this extra noise that's happening?
It really hasn't bothered the fan base until this year.
Okay.
This year was like kind of a tipping point. I don't know. I would like to see more of Jordan Love, but we've always, we have a history of getting a quarterback, and keeping them as starter. And you know what it was like when Aaron broke his collarbone, we fell apart. So, I don't know enough about Jordan Love to know if he's going to be any good or not. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And Mark, on the Chicago Bears side, what do you guys have to get absolutely right to even have a chance of winning this game?
Move the chains. Simple as that. If we don't move the chains, we're dead. They're going to score points. I don't think they're going to score many points, but you can't ever keep Aaron Rodgers down to, single figures, can you? You just can't. He's too good. But there were encouraging signs in Las Vegas last week, I thought, to keep the the Raiders down to 9 points. I thought that was a decent performance. I thought it was a very strong all-round performance. The fans are going to be pumped up this week. Very different from the last home game where it was all a bit flat and people were having to go at Nagy and this kind of stuff. So I think it'll be a bit different. And it's Green Bay. And there'll be a few Green Bay fans in there, always. And
do you think just a few, Mark?
I think there'll be 17, at least 17.
Just 17
match
total.
The points.
Yeah. No, generally I wouldn't say it's going to be a third, or probably maybe a quarter of the stadium will be Green Bay fans. And I like that. I think that's how it should be. When I was there, we were sitting near some Green Bay fans. It was all no problem, a lot of fun, a lot of ribbing. But the Bears were so turgid that night. It was we weren't getting any fun from the game, so we got it from the fans. But I just hope they have They all have a great time, but I just want the Bears to win. And I think they could. They could.
So, Coach, from a coaching perspective, if you were to call the plays for the Chicago Bears against Aaron Rodgers, what would be your focus?
Well, I think I would start probably on offense and continue to run the ball and make sure that you run it, as Mark said, move the chains, but also time of possession. And the less touches that he gets, the more chances you have to win. And I think if they can do some pretty good ball control, and listen, they've done that very well the last 2 games since they've changed their play caller. On the defensive side of the ball, I think Chicago matches up with Green Bay as good as anyone. They do have a really good slot corner, which covers your Cobb, especially on 3rd downs, which is the reason they wanted to bring him back anyway. And then I also think that they do have a pretty good deep safety game, which will keep the majority of the plays in front of you. Now, the problem is if that star wide receiver for Green Bay gets going, and when he does get going, he turns, 5-yard, 7-yard, 8-yard catches into 20, and you just blinked. So I think the less opportunities you give him is how you win this game. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that's the game plan to go through to it.
Right. Okay, excellent. Now, switching gears, I think the moment that I've been dreading since last week is looking back at last week's game between the Carolina Panthers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I talked a lot of trash. And,
where's my sunglasses when I need them?
So Ujitha, before I have my rant on my Carolina Panthers here.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to give you the opportunity to boast and to let us know, how did you see that game last week?
Now, but I'm going to leave the boasting to you because I saw the fall was really hard. I mean, it was a tough week for you. We don't want to bring everything what happened to you last week on the show, but look, man, the first half of that game, we were watching it. It was a slugfest on defense. We had to revive Mark. I mean, he fell asleep on his rocking chair over there in Nova Scotia. Yeah,
I did.
True story.
That's a true story. Exactly.
It was boring. For the neutral, it was a boring, turgid game.
Yeah, for the neutral, yeah. But when you went back and looked at it, I mean, look, Carolina, you're still dominant on defense, and I'll give you that. And Chuba Hubbard, man, I mean, old Chuba Hubbard went to the cupboard for a bone in that game, right? Until he maybe 10 minutes from the end of the game when the interior really stopped him. But and I'll let you talk about Carolina, but the good thing, what I saw for the Eagles, especially on defense, they were really able to cover the reads of Sam Darnold. I mean, you saw that. I mean, he was good. If the first progression was good to go, he was all right. Second and third progressions, he kind of panicked. And the secondary really, did their job. They haven't been great. So I'm hoping that they'll carry that forward to the Tampa game as well. We got to get better. There's no running game to speak of. It unconventional. Hurts did his thing in the last 10 minutes, wheeling out. He's got to do more of that. Try to hit the Rager and Smith on the run. As far as the Panthers game goes, I didn't expect them to win. I know. But you did. And you talked it up a lot.
A lot.
A huge amount.
That was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I think it was a lot.
In any way you measure, it was a lot.
Yeah. And I didn't say much, and I let the Eagles do the talking for you. Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. You said you didn't say much. I disagree with that statement.
Yeah.
You have no proof that I said anything.
Hey, I have 650,000 emails if you want to see a few of them.
Okay. Let's not go
That
there.
was from 10 years ago. I don't care.
So tell us about the Panthers. Why did the Panthers lose?
I mean, I don't know where to start. I think listening to the fan base of the Panthers fan base over the last week, a lot of people have been blamed for it. But for me, there's only one. I mean, if we look at the defense, we can't blame them. Yes, we've had collapses happening in the third quarter, almost every single game. We are dead last in the NFL in points per game at the third quarter, with only an average of 1.4 points per game in the third quarter after 5-6 weeks. So this is a ridiculous stat. This means we're not scoring any points in the third quarter. Against the Jets, we went into halftime 16-0 up, and third quarter we only score 3 points and we concede 8. Against Dallas, we had 0 points in the third quarter. We conceded 20. Against the Eagles, we had 0 points in the third quarter, and we only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter, and we let them come back. We were 15-6 up at halftime. So that tells me there is one problem. At halftime, teams are figuring our offense out. They're making adjustments, and we don't know what to do. And I'll put that on the offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. I mean, if you look at the play calling, it doesn't become more predictable than that. And we've got the weapons. We've got very, very good weapons on offense. In the wide receiver core, we've got, like you said, Chuba Hubbard is doing great. Sam Darnold as a weapon, a running weapon, was not utilized against the Eagles. The Eagles figured out very quickly in the third quarter that if we start running Jalen Hurts, we can start kind of moving the chains. And they did that. We had no designed runs for Sam Darnold. Like I said, we're dead last in the NFL in the third quarter. We're 25th in second half points per game, only average 9.2 points per game in the second half. 27th in the NFL in third quarter points allowed. So you can guarantee that you will score at least a touchdown against us in the third quarter in every game. 25th in penalties per game. I think the worst team right now is the Eagles at 32, 32nd position. We're 25th. 28th in interceptions thrown per game, 1.2. And the one thing that's making me put the blame on the coaching staff, especially Matt Rule and Joe Brady, is we are almost losing one time out in the first half every single game because of miscommunication. And these are the first 20 plays in the game. These are the plays that are usually scripted. So there should be no reason why there should be a miscommunication. We're losing timeouts in every first half. So I think I'm not going to blame it on the defense. The defense is great. Some people are calling for Sam Darnold's head. No, he's shown us in bits and pieces that he can be really good. And especially in the run game, he can be a threat there as well. It's the play calling, and the offensive coordinator has to answer for that. So I was very confident. And of course, when we're 3-0 starting the season, you're not looking into all of these details. You're really just happy that you're winning. The minute the losses start coming in, and especially against the Eagles, I mean, Dallas, fine. You know, the words Dallas and Super Bowl are being uttered in the same sentence.
There he goes being cocky again, even after a loss. There he goes.
But to lose against the Eagles, that's a red flag. And going up against Minnesota this week, we better win that game. That's all I'm going to say. So
I want you to.
Rant over. I feel better.
Darla wants you to win.
You better win that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've
got two people here, who are hoping that we win.
Well, the North should be between the Bears and the Packers this year. That's what we want.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So Darla, if we look at, obviously the NFC North is the focus, but if we look at some of the other divisions in the NFL, which battle that you're seeing right now is the most exciting outside of the NFC North? Which team is standing out and you're wondering, okay, are they going to do okay? Are they not going to do okay?
Well, one that I'm really kind of concerned about are the Chiefs. They're kind of my second team, and I don't know what's going on there.
So let me start with this point. Going forward, now that they're 2-3 and they're going up at Washington this week, is there any room for error for the rest of the season for these Kansas City Chiefs?
No, there's not. And if they don't start getting it together and really, playing well enough to win, I don't foresee them, even in playoff contention.
Right. And I think that's where it is, Coach. I mean, the defense has been really porous. They're allowing 7.1 yards per play. Yeah. They're allowing a touchdown in about 41% of opposition drives. And Mahomes is doing his thing, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. They've got the most turnovers in the league so far. But you can almost excuse the offense. They're on the field quite a lot, trying to kind of play catch up. What can they do to fix the defense?
Well, I think they're in big trouble in the next 4 games because they get the Titans, who can run it and run it and run it and run it. And then they've got Green Bay, who can run it and throw it in 4 weeks. And so I do think that, I don't know if it's panic time, but I do think they might need to take a deep breath. I think they'll be okay against Washington. And I'm pretty sure they'll be okay against the Giants, probably. But even if you come out of that at 2-2, you're still, you're really struggling in the West. And so, look, to fix the defense, you're not going to do that in week 6. You can scheme if you want, but I don't know that that's going to necessarily win you some games. Unfortunately, they may have to do what they did last year and just try to outscore people.
Right. And Ujitha, I mean, looking at the games this week, we've got the Chargers 4-1 leading that division, but they're going up against Baltimore. The Raiders and Denver are going up against each other. So one of them is going to end up with a 4-2 record and the other one's going to end up in a 3-3 record. Could this be the break that KC needed, considering the Raiders have just lost their head coach and the Chargers are going up against a very difficult Baltimore team? So assuming if Baltimore win that game, and whichever way it turns out between the Raiders and Denver, is this the break that KC need to kind of put themselves back in the picture?
Yeah, KC needs to do a lot more. If you look at the Chargers, I mean, they're playing great football right now. So I know Lamar had a crazy Sunday. I don't know if you guys watched that game. One of the best we've seen from Lamar on Sunday. But the Chargers, I mean, they're looking better and better every week. You know, Herbert's looking better, and they're not afraid to go on 4th. They keep going on 4th all the time. So I don't necessarily know if Baltimore wins that game either. The Raiders, of course, they've got problems, so that's good for KC. But KC has to do a lot of stuff on their own. And you said the offense looking good. I don't know necessarily if that offense is really crazy tight even at the moment. Yeah, you talked about the turnovers. They've got a differential of -7, which is dead last in the league. Josh Allen went, I think, for 219 yards on 7 completions of the other night. I mean, they were just taking it easy. They haven't got Honey Badger is not doing a great job. They missed Chris Jones. So they got a lot of stuff to do on their own. I don't think they have to worry about the Chargers. They don't worry about the division. They just need to worry about, how do they keep this defense going? And Mahomes wasn't great either. I mean, he looked sloppy, to be honest, on Sunday. Yeah, he couldn't throw proper. Even Tyreek Hill had some drops. So there is a lot of work internally there. I think they should just forget about what's happening in the division, try to fix what's going on.
You saw the Bills.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a great point. They just need to go 1-0 this week.
Exactly.
And then next week they need to go 1-0.
Yeah.
And then the week after that. And you're right. That's the first time in a long time, I think, we see the Chiefs beating themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Mark, just say one more thing. I think Mahomes, there's a blueprint on Mahomes. You don't blitz. And the Bills had 0 blitz on him this week. All right. And so that's kind of flat-footed him as well.
That was really interesting to see. I enjoyed it.
Good stat.
Yeah.
Mark, they're up against Washington this week. And Washington have been, the disappointment of the season, I think. Everybody expected them to come in with a fantastic defense. If they were to lose this game against a disappointing Washington team, is the season over for Kansas?
Almost. I think
2-4.
To go 2-4, it's tough to get back. But honestly, I'm still a week 8 person in terms of season over, especially with 17 games. So Kansas need to win it more than Washington do. But, if Washington lose, they're going to get further and further back from Dallas and Philly.
Right.
If Philly win tonight, we're recording this on Thursday. They're playing Tampa later. So if Philly won tonight and Washington lose, they're going to be drifting away from the top of the table and potential postseason. And that's really what they had in mind. They thought they were going to win that division. Preseason, Washington were confident. Their fans were really confident. The signs were all good.
Yeah.
But
I think Coach hit it right though when he said that, Kansas City, their fans and their players are kind of surprised that they're beating themselves, because you typically don't see that with that team. And I think if they can concentrate on the game that's right in front of them and just worry, instead of everything else, and not beat themselves, that's what they're doing right now. So if they can overcome that, I think they'll pull out of it.
They need to get a few stops on defense to make everyone feel a bit more confident that every time Mahomes gets the ball, he's not under pressure to always get 7 and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He was looking very disheartened second half last week against the Rams.
And Mahomes keeps scrambling even in a clean pocket. So it's like he's got no confidence in the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got to get it the O-line, but it's not doing its job.
Hey, would you have confidence?
No.
For anything.
Exactly.
Good point.
Interesting. KC, one to watch.
That Buffalo team looked really good. Now, Darla, you mentioned that the expectation is always that Green Bay has to reach the Super Bowl. That's the expectation. Looking at the NFC, who is the biggest threat to that particular objective right now?
Chicago.
No.
I hate to disappoint you, but I really couldn't answer that, because I'm not. I really don't focus on a lot of other teams besides the Packers and the Chiefs.
Okay. Well, I think from the
Dallas.
discussion that we've had, Dallas. I think that would be the one. But let's see how that goes. Okay, let's move on to the AFC North now. We've got Pittsburgh, who are in a very similar position to KC right now, 2-3. In fact, it's the exact same kind of score line. We've got Baltimore at 4-1, Cincinnati and Cleveland at 3-2, and Pittsburgh are at 2-3. But they had a good win last week. Could Pittsburgh turn it around with Big Ben? Mark, what do you think?
No.
They've lost Juju
They've
Smith-Schuster. Okay.
They've lost Juju as well. Look, I just don't.
Best podcast statement ever.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think they can. I don't think they're going to win 8 games this year. So I don't see them being in a relevance in the postseason.
They'll probably win this Sunday against Seattle.
Maybe. But
without Russell Wilson, although Geno Smith looked really good when he stepped in for Russell Wilson.
Well, that's not the thing. It's Seattle's defense. Their secondary is just nonsense. And Ben's still good in the pocket. He can still do his thing. But I'm with Mark. I don't know. I don't see how he can take.
Hey, listen, guys. Seattle can't stop the run. They hadn't been able to stop the run all season, and Pittsburgh's finally finding a run and a good run game. They're running some pretty strong GT and RPOs, even though everybody knows Ben's not going to run the ball. But I think it's freeing up Roethlisberger a bit, and I think it's giving him a chance to move the chains, but not have 2nd and 8. He's got 2nd and 4, or not have 3rd and 9. He's got 3rd and 2, and I think they can pick up 2 or 3 of those 3rd downs now with the running game. And I read a stat, and I wish I had posted it. This will be the first time in 4 years that an offensive line for Pittsburgh has played 4 consecutive games together without an injury.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So even though they were all new, they're kind of starting to gel a little bit. And I can see that running game really helping Pittsburgh. Look, they're probably going to beat Seattle. And then they've got the Bears and the Lions in 2 of the next 3 weeks after that. So they could reel off some good wins.
Okay.
No offense, Mark.
None taken. They're not going to beat the Bears. Not the way they've been playing. Honestly, I just don't see it.
Now, Coach, there's one question I want to ask you about Cleveland in the same division, right? Because last week they had an incredible game, scoring 42 points, but they couldn't pull together the win. They had no turnovers, but there was one particular play right at the end that could have, decided the game, where it was a 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 10. And instead of having Baker Mayfield throw the ball, they decided to go with a running play. Does that say that this coaching staff does not believe that Baker Mayfield is that guy in the clutch that can deliver that, critical 3rd down to win the game?
So I think even the coach came out and said he's had nightmares about that call this week. I've read that a couple of times, both on social media and even I think Adam Schefter posted it. I think he had a Tom Brady moment. I think he didn't realize it was third down when he called the play.
Wow.
If you go back and watch it and you look at it, you see him just kind of really working his way through. Most of the time you remember down and distance, or you have a coach in your ear telling you. I do. I think he lost. I didn't think he realized, because as soon as they didn't make it, you look up and he's kind of surprised, and then he says punt team. So it's almost like he thought he had another play and he was ready to call it, and then he realized, okay, punt team, go in. So I really do. I think he lost it. I think it has nothing to do with confidence of
Baker Mayfield.
Because I think he was playing really well. I think it was a setup call, honestly, because they ran a play off of it later in the game where they faked that draw and then ran a backside screen. Exact same play.
Right.
So it could have been a little of that, but I don't think he realized it was third down.
Well, it's funny because the media, a lot of, these media outlets interpreted it as, no confidence in Baker Mayfield. And it went back to that whole narrative that we talked about last week, that the Browns are winning in spite of him, not because of him, which I think is really unfair. But let's see how it goes. I think the Cleveland have a very good team, and they might be making some noise, especially in the second half of the season. All right, let's switch gears and wrap it up with our Thursday night game that is happening now. Tampa Bay at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, there's news out there, Ujitha, that Tom Brady has an injured thumb. Is that going to be a factor in this game?
That's just nonsense. Listen, man, 44-year-old dude, running around in tights. I don't know how appropriate that is. Okay, he needs to stop. but look, he's once again Tom. Like the guy is still having one of the best seasons of his life all over again. Yeah. The good part about I don't know if it's a good part or not, but the Philly defense have adjusted, and I think if they kind of do whatever they did with the Panthers, there's a lot of too high safety splits, which kind of take away the middle field, and also take a leaf out of what Bill Belichick did against Brady. 5-6 defensive backs. Make it tough for him. Our rush defense isn't great, so Leonard Fournette is probably going to run. So we'll leave that alone. But we got to have so much pressure going on Brady. We know where he is because he doesn't move out of the pocket. He's in the pocket. So just get to him as much as possible. But then how do you do that when you got, 3 receivers who are doing 70 to 80 yards per game? How do you stop that offense? He's got Evans, Godwin, and even without Gronk and Brown. So I hope the Eagles have lost a lot of film over the last few weeks on Tom Brady, and try to stop him with the vertical ball. This is what he likes. Offense, right. Hurts got to do his thing and just repeat whatever they did in the last 10 minutes of the Panthers game. That's all they got to do. Yeah.
I wanted to check whether you were clinging on to that thumb injury as hope, and clearly you're not. You realize that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time.
Listen, I'm not listen, like boys. These are not the Carolina Panthers that they're going to play tonight.
Right.
These boys. It's a completely different look, right? I mean, you can shut down one even with CMC out. Ujitha is exactly right. Even you can run a too high shell, and they will kill you with Antonio Brown on stick routes over and over and over. And at the moment you come up tight, I mean, it's not Jared Goff we're talking about, okay?
Yep.
Yeah. and just to let you know, Ujitha, Tom Brady a few years ago tore the part between your thumb and your index finger, that part, and it was in stitches, and he still played the game and he still won. So just in case there's a little bit of hope, let me
watch him play in 5 years in crutches, and he'll still win a game. But here's the thing: Eagles are 6-0 on TNF, so I'm going to hang on that stupid stat.
Wouldn't it be great if the Eagles won? Seriously, I think
it would be a great story for the Panthers as well. It'll be a good break after
Well,
that.
it'll be
I
better
don't think
for
the Panthers are
if
relevant
the
in this
Eagles beat
conversation.
Tampa Bay.
No.
This is how Muhammad lives with himself. This is how he sleeps at night. But yeah, I'll be up in a few hours for that game.
I'm looking forward to it. I just want a quick bit of trivia before we go. Since 1992, the Bears have played the Packers obviously every season since then. How many quarterbacks have played for the Packers against the Bears? And how many quarterbacks have played for the Bears against the Packers? Mohammed.
2.
Oh, I have no idea. I think probably more quarterbacks on the Chicago side than on Green Bay. Because Green Bay tend to... I couldn't give you a number. I have no idea.
Okay, Darla, any ideas?
2.
I said it.
Close.
2 for Packers.
Since 92?
Close. Yeah, since 92.
3. It's 3.
No, because there were a few injuries in there. I think Scott Mitchell played one game, it seems like. Not Scott Mitchell. I can't remember the backup. He played a game for the Packers. I'm going to say 5 and 5.
5 and 5. Okay, well, it's 3 for the...
That's 25.
3 for the Packers, which are obviously Rogers.
Go Darla.
Brett Hundley was the
There
one.
it is.
Yeah.
Brett Huntley.
Yeah.
And
There it is.
the number of quarterbacks for the Bears who played against the Packers is 20.
No.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. I
20.
was going to say 12.
20.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a revolving door of quarterbacks.
Exactly. So we hope that Justin Fields will play against the Packers for next decade.
What
20.
a stat.
I thought you'd like that one. So just something to leave you on.
Darla likes that one.
What a
Go
stat.
Bears.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
All right. I think
Crazy.
that's
just
that's
before
a good...
we go, thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
Stella. It's been a real joy.
Thank you
Darla.
so
Thank
much.
Great to have you.
It's been a lot of fun, guys.
And we'll
Thanks.
Good luck
definitely have
with
you
the
back
game.
here again soon.
Okay.
Well,
I think
we
every
should have her next
Chicago
week.
Green Bay game we have to have Darla on just to
I think it's week
Give
17.
Mark a hard
is the
time.
next one, isn't it? Week 17,
Tell us-
16, something like that.
Oh, is it at the end of the season?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. we'll play
Okay.
again.
Okay. Might have wild card implications.
If you'll have me
We're
back,
doing
I'll
great.
be back.
That'd be
100%. All
Always
right,
welcome.
guys. This has been
Okay.
Sports Unhinged. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment, and like, and we'll see you guys on Saturday for the Pick 6 segment. Ujitha, you did some catching up, I think. So let's see. See you
I
guys.
think we're all
Have a good
square.
one.
All right.
All right.
Take it
Take
easy.
care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.